You big dummy!
What in the all types of blue hell? Get yourself ready for a minstrel show.
I'm done with life, and it's all Jermaine's fault. It's always Jermaine's fault. I'm done.
What's good, everybody? AB Media 83 here, and welcome to this Colosseum special. As the title states, vote blue no matter who sold us this. What am I talking about? Well, how can I say this? For those of you, for those of you who have been living under a rock, it has just come out that Joe Biden, yes, that old decrepit Joe Biden, has stage 4 cancer, prostate cancer. And the cancer is so bad that the cancer is in his bones. So, yeah, that's pretty bad. Now, before we get started, let me say before we get started, I don't wish any bad on Joe Biden, and I wish him a speedy recovery. I hope he can recover from this stage 4 cancer. This is not necessarily an attack on Joe Biden. However, however, multiple medical professionals have come out and said there is no way whatsoever that his doctors didn't know about this diagnosis of stage 4 cancer. They've had to know about this. Shout out to Louis, shout out to Adric, shout out to Silk Diggy, Namer, and shout out to Snowman in the building. There's no way whatsoever that his staffers and the people who checked on him didn't know about this. No way whatsoever. Yes, stage 4 cancer. Cancer. Yeah. And the point of this stream is to basically point out the Democrat Party and everybody I have listed in my description sold this country a dementia patient with stage 4 prostate cancer. They thought it was a good idea to sell their country a dementia patient with stage 4 prostate cancer. Now, shout out to Louis, who I talked with behind the scenes. He actually made a good point, and I'm going to start out with this video because it might actually give you a reason to why they let him run for president when they knew he was sick with cancer. So, without further ado, let me share my screen. And yes, I will drop the link in a minute. Uh, let's see. Yep, maybe column special. And let me refresh for a minute. Here we go. President Gerald Ford may give us the answer to why they let Joe Biden run again or run it all. He actually gave a pretty good answer, and you're probably not going to like it. But that's what this show's for. So let's play it.
Give a young lady wanting to become president of the United States?
Well, I hope we do have a young lady at some point become president of the United States. I can tell you how I think it will happen, because it won't happen in the normal course of events. Either the Republican or Democrat political party will nominate a man for president and a woman for vice president.
Sound familiar? Does that sound familiar? Let's see. Who was in the office last? Oh, right. Joe Biden and Kamala Harris.
And the woman and man will win. So you'll end up with a president, a male, and a vice president, a female.
And yes, they won in 2020. If there are any butthurt blues in the crowd, yes, we don't deny, we over here don't deny the 2020 election, and what's done is done. Joe Biden won. It is what it is. Yeah, Ford was ahead of his time, but let's continue. Hold on, wait a minute. Hold on, ungroup you. All right, here we go.
And in that term of office of the president will die, and the woman will become president under the law or constitution.
By the way, technically, this actually has already happened. Yes, that's right. Technically speaking, Kamala Harris has somewhat officially been president. Why? Because Joe Biden was incapacitated. He was in surgery for whatever medical reason, and so technically, Kamala Harris has been president for a couple hours, or however long the story is, or however long the surgery took place. So this has already happened, and as the late President Ford said, the male president would have to die. Maybe that's why the Democrats ran a dementia patient, so that an incompetent AKA who slept her way to the top could get to the presidency. I wonder. Ken Kim had too much anti-black sentiment. Yeah, that's true. That's true. She did lock a lot of niggas up, including single mothers. Oh, but I hate black women over here, right? I just hate black women, right? I just want Keisha to fall in line, right? Right. Actually, I don't care what Keisha does. Quite frankly, I feel sorry for Pookie. But anyway, you heard the former president.
Constitution. And once that barrier is broken, from then on, men better be careful, because they'll have a hard time ever even getting a nomination in the future. But that's the way it's going to happen, and I think it'll probably come sometime in the next 4 or 8 years.
You heard him. You heard him. Now, if y'all remember back during the debate where everybody found out, Joe Biden's brain was being fried. BGS came out with a specific video. Shout out to the master teacher. And yes, I am calling him the master teacher. Get over it. And the master teacher made this little video.
Hey, my More brothers, back again. This is a pre-recorded, one of the rare ones I do nowadays. I think starting the first, I'm going to get more into doing more pre-recordeds and start doing my dark news a bit more. Also, there's tons and tons and tons of, I should say, geopolitical and political news or reactions I actually want to do to videos that I watch, because I watch this stuff all the time and I could react probably. I probably could do a reaction video every hour, but I don't. The reason for this video, and hopefully it's not too long, is I understand that a lot of people in this space go one way or the other as far as political parties, Democrat, Republican,
True.
whatever, right? And had a lot of people that have a lot of animosity about local politics, which is why I don't do local politics very well. I really don't. Because it's almost like rooting for sports teams, which
Yeah, pretty much.
over the last 5 or 6 years, I really don't do anymore, because I really don't watch sports as much as I used to, because one, it's gotten to be too
Commercialized.
much about entertainment and selling TV time and tickets,
much.
and less about the game. And also, after, hell, 50 years of watching this stuff on TV as a kid, as a youngster, and becoming an old man, it's like the game is not what it used to be, and not as interesting as it used to be.
Right.
Hell, I get more entertainment from watching the WNBA drama, the soap opera, not the game itself, because the games themselves suck.
Yes, they do.
Let's be honest. It's the soap opera that swirls around the WNBA that's probably more interesting. But
yeah, Caitlin Clark and
I just want to talk about politics for a second.
Caitlin Clark and Angel Reese. Anybody? Just saying.
And everybody knows that I'm politically agnostic. All right? I am a structural realist, which is basically a black pill geopolitic person. Basically, it is what it is. I look at structures. I don't take sides. Sometimes I'm an amoralist as far as political outcomes are concerned. I'm a political amoralist. I don't care. I understand that systems and structures and outcomes and how you put together society probably matter more to me than some moral outcome that what people think that we should have, right? Because I'm just looking at over the past, let's say 10, 15 years, the morals have shifted so much that you can't tell what's what. When you got a man with a penis that can walk in and pee in a woman's bathroom and nobody says anything, then what little morals you have are gone. When you can have a law in California where a grown man can have sex with a 13-year-old boy and nobody says anything, but you can't even look at a 17-year-old girl cross-eyed without getting called in who's gal, that means the morals in this country are kaput. They don't mean anything. So that's how come I am amoral as far as the political process now. So when I say this, people are going to get upset. When I say this, people are going to take umbrage. I told you guys almost 4 years ago that Trump should have been prosecuted and probably have gone to jail for insurrection.
Yep.
Up, down, side.
He did.
Ways. I don't care what people say, he should have gone to jail for it, right? Should have gone to prison for it. But I knew they weren't going to put a sitting president president into prison. I'm sure he got the same deal cut that Hillary Clinton got cut, which is do not run again and go live your life. Hillary heeded the call and she hasn't run again.
Mm-hmm.
Donald Trump, being who he is, ran again, and that's how come he ran this whole legal gauntlet. In fact, former Governor Cuomo said the same thing on, I think it was called Politically Incorrect, whatever he calls his show now, right? He said the exact same thing I'm saying. They politicize the justice system, the legal system.
They did
to slur Donald Trump's name, which didn't work.
And that's the other reason I'm doing this video. They politicize the justice system to sell us a dementia patient with stage 4 cancer.
In other words, they sold us a bill of goods that weren't so good.
In other words, they have a bridge to sell us that they don't have. But anyway.
I had a feeling it wouldn't work. Is because
it's like Angel Reese trying to tell us she
Trump
improved her basketball game when she had none to improve.
Even Donald Trump knows that. Everything you do to him is going to work the opposite way in the eyes of most people. So by you with all these trials and you try to politicize the legal process, all you did was give Donald Trump a free campaign for the most part. He's in the news every day. And people coming at him every day. He could run a press conference every day. And nobody had to pay him to campaign.
Yep.
You literally ran a whole campaign for Donald Trump in this process, right? And it didn't work. It backfired on you. Now, in my opinion, had Biden run a fairly even, I'm not saying perfect, even 4 years in his administration, I don't think that Donald Trump would have a chance. That's just
agreed. If Biden had did a halfway decent job, Donald Trump wouldn't have had a chance to get elected again.
Me personally, the same way I don't think Donald Trump would have lost if it wasn't for COVID.
Agreed.
True.
Nobody's responsible for the Democrats or Biden's administration or this particular campaign except him. His own track record is doing him in, and that's exactly what Donald Trump went after during the debate.
Yep.
It is what it is. I knew it was coming. If you can't send the man to jail, you would have to put him in jail to stop him from running.
Yep.
And whatever things that you could have put him.
What does it say about your candidates where you have to put your opponent in jail to stop them from running?
That the candidates are incapable.
Pretty much.
Under that might have sent him to jail and couldn't quite do it. I wasn't in the room to make those decisions. So I don't know. But the stuff that you put out did not work at all. Everything backfired, including your best case that you thought you had, which was with Fannie Willis in Atlanta over, I think was.
Oh, good old gorilla grip. The BTS probably didn't pay poor gorilla grip a bit.
Gorilla grip.
That's her online name, Gorilla Grip Pussy.
I know. I've heard.
Shout out to BTS. I'm gonna try it out.
Look, I've
he's in the age range. I ain't saying shit.
I ain't got shit to do with it. Okay.
right. They're in the same age range, so I have nothing to do with it. I learned a long time ago. Stay out of older grown folk business. You
exactly.
Stay out of older grown folks.
Stay out of older grown folks' business, because if you even get a whiff of that, you ain't gonna like it. It's gonna be more sour than chitlin cleaning.
Man, I've heard horror stories about how assisted living places with a lot of older people could be a whorehouse.
Dog. I can share a few of those stories.
Damn, everybody got stories about that.
I can share quite a few of those stories. Living in a house with an older person, knowing what he's up to. Knowing what he does. Do you understand me?
Yeah. What's
Oh hell.
I
Let
love how
me
BTS says this. Um, he says history don't repeat itself, but it does rhyme. There's
history doesn't
nothing.
have to repeat itself. History shows itself, man.
Yeah.
Forget repeating it. Look, let me share this story. For
Yeah.
a
We have
while,
to
I
get
lived.
back to the topic because there's some other stuff I want to cover. But go ahead.
Okay, go, finish it.
All right.
Voting corruption or whatever it was, that's probably was your best case. That he didn't even come to trial for that because Fannie Willis and her group just blew up.
Okay. Now I'm going to stop for this. I said this back then, and I maintain my position now. You're prosecuting a president of the United States. That is the equivalent of prosecuting 50 mob bosses at one time. And your bright idea is to go get your married boyfriend that you're sleeping with while he's still married,
While he's still married.
who is a traffic judge, to prosecute a
So
RICO case against the president. And you thought that was a good
tra-
idea?
a traffic judge.
Yes, he was a traffic judge.
So the gorilla grip
Yes,
got a traffic judge
yes,
of all things.
a traffic judge. But let's continue.
Yes.
Just blew up sky high, and this little weak case you put in New York was even worse. Blew up sky high. So now you have a stronger Trump that hasn't even campaigned,
Mm-hmm.
sitting in the catbird seat. He won primaries just by the mere fact his name was in it.
He did.
And then because you knew that Biden probably could not run effectively, you
Oh, funny story. I think it was Nevada, if I'm not mistaken. Nikki Haley, Donald Trump wasn't on the ballot, and Nikki Haley was the front runner of the people that are going to lose to Donald Trump. And you want to know what won the state?
What?
She didn't win the state. The majority of people voted no confidence, voted for nobody.
Wait. They voted no confidence.
Yeah, the majority of people voted no confidence in that state because Trump wasn't on the ballot.
Dear Nikki
Also,
Haley.
no confidence. Yes.
Dear Nikki Haley.
How do you fuck that up? How do you fuck that up?
Correction, dear Nimrata Haley. That's her actual name, Nimrata.
virtually eliminated any other backups you had for Democrats.
Mm-hmm.
So whatever agenda that you have for Biden,
That's the other reason I'm doing this stream. You screwed over your voters by shoving a dementia patient with stage 4 cancer down our throats rather than getting another Democrat to run against Donald Trump. But you expect us to take you seriously.
Again, my question remains.
How do you fuck that up? How do you fuck that up?
Biden, that you needed him to be reelected and you wanted to kind of eliminate the competition.
Yep.
Guess what you just did? And this is what you're left with.
Mm-hmm.
Now, I haven't really said anything for the past 2 years because you guys know how sensitive you are. But at this point, everybody knows the game's up. Game's over.
They sure are all sensitive.
Because
so
that display that he put on during the debate. Now, Trump was no wizard. Trump was not even Trump of Trump 4 years ago, or even 8 years ago when he.
No, actually, Trump was amazingly calm during those debates.
Yeah, he
I
was.
was shocked. He didn't get really he didn't get really blown up at all.
He ran
didn't have
in
to.
2016. He's not that Trump, but he doesn't even have to be. Why? Because Biden is so
Bingo.
bad.
Mm-hmm.
And there's no
That
way
part.
you can get him amped up for another debate. So whatever you gave him when he did the State of the Union address, whatever you gave him, evidently can't give him again. And there's no way in hell, I believe, that you could have another debate with Trump and Biden. because this was bad enough. And you're going to wait another couple of months and have another one to get an even bigger meltdown? Because, in my opinion, this race is over.
Yeah.
This race is over.
It's over
You
before
had
it's-
people in Europe, leaders in Europe, depending on Biden to win this race and defeat Trump so you could keep NATO together.
Yep.
They're admitting
true.
that this race is over. The Democrats behind the scenes are admitting that this race is over.
Yep.
You can't pull anybody off the bench because there's nobody on the bench. You cleared out the whole bench.
Used up their
There's
bench.
nobody there. It's just Biden and Trump.
Mm-hmm.
And like I
They
say,
used
Trump
up
is
their
no winner.
bench.
Donald Trump is not the Donald Trump of old. But he's more than enough in this contest.
Yep.
So all you political pundits that's saying about Biden's policies or Biden's whatever, y'all can go kick rocks, man. Because if you guys are still on
Yeah,
that
pretty much. Yeah.
Democratic presidential campaign stuff with this showing,
Mm-hmm.
what little respect I had for you before will be
It's
completely
gone.
eliminated.
It's gone.
What little respect I had for you before will be completely eliminated.
Agreed.
There's no way that this guy or even these two guys can get on the world stage and say that this is the best that America has to offer. You can't. Is America a reflection of the two people that we have running for office right now? If it is, basically, we might as well go out in the front yard with our cigars and cognac, and as Aaron Clary says, enjoy the decline. Okay?
Yep.
Ain't no coming back from this.
Mm-hmm.
I'm gonna say it. Y'all will just have to get pissed off about it because it's true.
Say it
I'm
again.
embarrassed.
Say it
I'm
again.
embarrassed by the Democrats. I'm embarrassed by this political process. Are you guys freaking kidding me?
Yeah.
This show, this debate that we just saw of two old guys that probably shouldn't be running at all. This is the best that we have. We have a severely diminished Trump and even more severely diminished Joe Biden.
Mm-hmm.
There is no way around this.
None.
Now, he's not even to the election. It's not even November yet. We're still what? 5 months out, 4 months out?
Yeah, I had to dig to find this one.
There's no way he can campaign. There's no way he can go through the stretch drive and survive this experience. There's no way he can do it. And with the showing that he just had with the debate, he's going to have to campaign.
Yes.
He's going to have to show his face. He's going to have to show some energy that he doesn't have. So in my
we just found out why he doesn't have that energy.
opinion,
This
race is over already. I had an inkling it was over a year ago when I looked at the polls. I had an inkling it was over really when Trump actually won the primaries without running.
Yeah.
Trump won the freaking primaries without running. That's
not even showing up to a debate.
Didn't have to show
bad this process is. Trump didn't have to campaign. He was in court and won the freaking primary.
Yep.
And this is the best that America can produce as far as political leaders on both sides. I'm not talking about Trump himself, on both sides.
Yeah.
Shout out to him. Shout out to him for having the audacity to go through this process and believing that he can win.
Yes.
And guess what? He probably will. So shout out to Trump.
He did.
I am so disappointed in this process. I am so disappointed in this country. I really am. Country that I grew up in, was raised by, was nurtured by, even through the freaking racism, a country that I still love. And this is what it's come to.
By the way, I got 20 plus watchers. Like, share, subscribe, hit the Cash App, support the show, hit the Super Chat, support the show, support your interest.
America's never perfect. Never perfect.
Nope.
Slavery, racism, Jim Crow, imperialism, all this kind of stuff was never perfect, but it was never this. Y'all got to do something. What you guys got to do, what stops you have to pull out, you guys have to plug up these holes, and you got to right this ship.
Which they're not doing.
And do business.
even
Which
now.
they won't do.
Business.
They will
This is
never
not
ever
Saturday
do.
Night Live, even though I know that the debate will be on Saturday Night Live with Joe and Donald going back and forth.
Yep.
And hell, they may not because they're so embarrassed. But as far as politics is concerned, as far as it's going back and forth between Donald Trump and Joe Biden, y'all can kick rocks.
Yes,
Easy.
it is.
After this display, y'all can kick rocks. I don't want to hear it. I don't want to hear this cheering and this fanboying on either side anymore. I don't want to hear it. This was ugly. This was embarrassing. And the powers that be that guide this country, both political and monetarily, need to do something. America is better than this. I know it is.
Yes.
We got much smarter people than this. I know we do. Hell, get AOC off the bench. I know she's not ready to be president, but hell, stick her out there. Donald Trump didn't know what the hell he was doing for the first 2 years either. She can't be any worse.
Yeah, that's fair. That's fair.
Y'all need to do something.
Fair.
And the manosphere, this cheering going back and forth, y'all need to kick rocks and actually start being serious about what you're talking about. Because for the past 2 years, all I've heard is bullshit coming out of your mouths.
Say it again, black man.
About a freaking
Say it again.
HBCU in some kind of Pell Grants. Get the entire freak out of here.
Out of here.
We got the whole world blown up in front of our faces, man. You have this whole world economy dismantling itself.
Mm-hmm.
And the shocks are coming through the United States left and right. Hell, you got a whole commercial real estate sector collapsing in front of our eyes. And this is all you can say is about freaking Pell Grants. Are you all right? Before I get in trouble, because I'm already pretty close to the line. I know. I hate. Don't come for me. I already know.
Mm-hmm.
I know where the electric fence is, and I'm pretty close to it right now. But I know you hear me, and I know you guys monitor me. Y'all need to fix this.
Yep.
Y'all need to fix this. You mess with me for nothing, but y'all need to fix this. Because this is not America, and I know you guys that are behind the scenes are better than this. But that's all I'm going to say for right now.
Yep. Oh, and
no lies told.
They did some they did the internal polling for Biden, and they said that Trump would have won by 400 electoral votes if Biden had stayed in the race.
It'd have been a shutout.
Yeah, it would have been.
It would have been a pure shutout.
It would have been a complete shutout.
Mm-hmm. It'd have been a shutout. It'd have been a shutout. It was a romp in the making. It had been a romp in the making since Biden took office. Let's just be totally real. Because the moment Biden took office, the whispers had already started.
Yeah, and to the people, I'm not going to say your names, but you're listed in the description box. You sold this country a dementia patient with prostate cancer, and you expect somebody to take you seriously. You expect somebody to take the Democrat Party seriously after they pull this bullshit. Oh, on top of the fact,
after they pull this bullshit. Sorry,
because I watched that debate.
Mm-hmm.
And I actually did a stream right afterwards. And before I got on the stream,
I caught a part of it.
I had never seen such panic in the newsroom. They were panicking like crazy.
Oh yeah.
Like I got Democrats on the phone. We don't know what to do. Oh my gosh, we don't know what to do. I had never seen that so much panic. But we found out on Sunday he had stage 4 cancer, and it's pretty bad.
Mm-hmm.
The cancer's in his bones.
Oh boy.
Boy. Yeah, it's in his bones, and medical professionals have come out and stated that there's no way that the White House didn't know about this while he was in office.
Oh, they knew the fuck about it.
There's no way they didn't know.
They knew about it. They knew about it. They absolutely knew about it.
There's no way they didn't know. Which brings me to the next video I'm going to show. And before I do that, like, share, subscribe, hit the Cash App, support the show, hit the Super Chat, support the show. Now, since I know some butthurt boo's going to watch this and they're going to say, quote unquote, I hate black women so much,
Oh no.
I'm going to let a black woman explain to you what's going on with this story.
Let her rip.
It was just
Shout out to Sabrina Salvati.
announced that Joe Biden has been diagnosed with an aggressive form of prostate cancer. Let's get into the announcement here. And we'll get into some of the details as well. Here we go, folks.
Back in here too, live now from Fox. I am Andy Mack. We want to bring you a breaking news story as former President Joe Biden announcing on social media that he has been diagnosed with an aggressive form of prostate cancer. And I want to put up just this statement here on live now from Fox from one of these spokespeople for former President Joe Biden talking about this, saying last week, President Joe Biden was seen for a new finding of a prostate nodule after experiencing increasing urinary symptoms. On Friday, he was diagnosed with prostate cancer characterized by a Gleason score of 9, grade group 5, with metastasized in the bone. While this represents a more aggressive form of the disease, the cancer appears there to be hormone sensitive, which allows for effective management. The president and his family are reviewing treatment and options with physicians. So this is a big news as we are following it. Aggressive prostate cancer with former President Joe Biden after leaving office just several months ago. So, of course, going in there for a checkup, you can see there a statement from the personnel office of the former President Joe Biden about this. And this is major breaking news.
Yeah, major breaking news. Joe Biden has been diagnosed with aggressive form of prostate cancer. Now, I want to go ahead and explain some things. Number one, I'm kind of surprised by this because as president of the United
I'm not.
States, you have a personal doctor, like you have a personal doctor for the White House, and they're
Come on, Sabby. You know them people lie.
supposed to get a physical every year. I believe it is required if you're president of the United States. You would have thought this is something that would have been caught earlier, right? And what I want you to pay attention to is that word aggressive, right? So if you're getting those annual checkups, you would have thought they would have been able to catch this before it got, to this
They did.
point. And I will say to everyone that's watching, please be sure that you don't skip your physicals, right? Like that is something that I am very adamant about. Like I won't skip those. That being said, you would think that this would kind of be a wake-up call for Joe Biden, because Joe Biden was the one that said if the Medicare for All bill came across his desk, he would veto it. Why is that important?
Yes, he did say that.
Important in this case.
Let me hear that again.
I just want to remind everybody that Joe Biden.
He said if the Medicare for All bill came across his desk, he would veto it.
My word.
He did say that. Hey, I didn't vote for him. I wanted Bernie Sanders to get it. He's talking about Medicare for All.
Yeah,
has
sure
what I would call
the past 3 years.
Gold-plated health insurance, which many Americans do not have.
Nope, they don't.
Do not have. How many people, how many of you have known people that have been diagnosed with cancer and can't afford the treatments, or their health insurance won't cover, but only so much of it?
Pause.
Because I know
Wait a minute.
I could probably use both of.
Sabby, been there, done that, got the t-shirt, burnt the sumbitch when I got done with it. And the best part, my family and I are still going through it.
It's a miracle you survived it because you had stage 4 pancreatic cancer, if I'm not mistaken.
I had
right?
stage 4 pancreatic cancer. An operation saved my life. We're still paying on that bitch.
I believe it.
My
And to give you,
my wife hasn't had insurance through her old job, has insurance now, but we're still paying on that bitch.
I believe it. To give you some context, my late uncle had pancreatic cancer and he didn't survive it. It took me, I kid you not, it took me a day to even process that he was gone. Because I couldn't process that he was gone. It
I
took a
get
day.
it.
It took a day. This is back in 2016.
Mm-hmm.
It took a day just to even process that he was gone.
2007 for me when I lost my dad. It's
To my
still
hand.
it's still taking me time to process, and this June will mark 18 years since his passing.
Hmm.
I'll,
The
I'll
number of
say it
people.
again. I'll say it out loud. I'm supposed to be in a box with no epitaph or nothing. Duke
Hmm.
University Cancer Center, and I'm still gonna stick a lawsuit up their ass when we finally get everything together. Told my wife there's no hope.
Mm. Damn. Let's
Told
continue.
my wife
That I
there's no hope. I'm sorry. Go on.
have known in my lifetime that have been diagnosed with cancer, and none of them have had the type of healthcare insurance that Joe Biden had. I have one friend of mine that has basically gone into bankruptcy because of cancer diagnosis, because the
Yes, a lot of people go into bankruptcy because of medical issues. I
That
think
was
it's
nearly
one of
my that was nearly my mom and dad.
the. Hmm.
health insurance company, yeah, they pay for some of it. But even after insurance paid, she was taking pictures of their medical bill and posting them on Facebook to show people that even after the insurance payments, they had to pay $1,600 a
Yep.
week for the chemo treatments.
Yep.
We're talking about somebody that was pretty healthy as much as I could remember. The point is this: Joe Biden has the top-notch medical team, has gold-plated health insurance, that they're probably going to be able to attack this aggressively, and he can probably beat this. Even though it's an aggressive form, they said it's treatable. People that I have known who have even had earlier diagnosis have run into this issue where it continued to spread because they didn't have the money to pay for the treatment, even after insurance paid.
Yep.
I sincerely hope the lesson that people learn from this story here happening with Joe Biden is not that, oh, he has prostate cancer and it's aggressive, and well, it's good that he didn't decide to run for re-election after all. I hope the message that people take from this is how important it is for everyone to have health care in this country. Because the reality is a lot of Americans are not in the position that Joe Biden is in. A lot of Americans don't have gold-plated health care insurance.
Very true.
A lot of
What's going on,
Very
Charles?
true.
Americans don't have the financial means
What's up, Dr.
to
Faulkner?
pay for the
What's up?
treatments. People don't
Here's
want to
the bad
talk
part.
about it, or people who have money.
Go ahead, Charles.
Here's the bad part, right? If you look at the average American, this is the reason why, and I gotta invoke the name of the saint of the Black Manosphere, Kevin Samuels.
Hmm.
A lot of people did not understand what Kevin was saying to the John Q public. The high value man is rare, okay?
Very.
Very rare.
Meaning the average public, 75% of you motherfuckers,
Hmm.
to about 80, are living check to check,
Yes.
okay?
Yes.
No shame in it. We all do. 2 weeks, you miss a paycheck for 2 weeks, a lot of us are getting put out. Okay? That being said, you have a former sitting president who has cancer. Disease is no respect of office or persons.
It is not.
Mm.
You have to look at this where we come to being picky people when it comes to mating and dating, where we don't even look at math the right way. This is how stupid the current situation is. Two people can make it if they want to try.
Mm-hmm.
But look at it. You have all these picky. When a motherfucker, what do they say? there are no goddamn atheists in a foxhole.
Right.
When cancer, when some of these hard-hitting diseases hit you, guess what, brothers and sisters? Reality hits you hard.
Very much so.
And this
Very
is the
much
fucked up part. You motherfuckers will vote for candidates because of personality and not policy.
policy.
Why? Where's your policy? And I gotta say this to the Democratic Party and all its followers. Where's the policy to make shit affordable? Where's the policy to make families a family again, where it's the strongest unit once more? You don't give a damn. You don't give a fuck. It's like anything that talks about family values, you besmirch it.
Yep. Let's continue the video.
You don't want to talk about it, but cancer treatments are expensive.
God,
Let's continue.
Look right now there in Washington, D.C. at the White House as we have chronicled the last 4 years for President Joe Biden very, very closely, and also the election in which he did drop out, had his Vice President Kamala Harris jump into the race with about 100 days to go. President Trump winning that election.
Oh, that's the other reason I'm doing the stream. You first sold a dementia patient with stage 4 cancer to us. Then once you got caught with your pants down, you decided to sell us to the incompetent AKA who slept her way to the top. But we're supposed to take you seriously.
In a mandate style with the voters casting their ballot. But this is big news as former President Joe Biden diagnosed with prostate cancer. And this is just information that the world is learning in real time of what's to come with this. We have not seen him in the public lens a lot in the last several months. So obviously staying out of the spotlight. We have not seen him speak. We have not seen him support other different candidates in the race in 2026, the midterms. We've seen different campaign style events recently, but this is
really weird that he said this because Joe Biden did just have 2 interviews. I guess, I don't know if he just doesn't remember that, but we covered the interview that he had recently with.
Yes, he did. In fact, he was on The View. Now, although to be fair, I wouldn't necessarily call that an interview. It was just a shit show. But anyway,
the BBC.
Why does The View still exist?
I have a better question. Who the hell put that together?
A bunch of cackling old bitches. That's who.
Yeah.
Well, why does it still exist?
Great
Because
answer.
you found them out to be selfish liars. When the lady kept talking about what about African slaves who came here illegally, I'd be like, do y'all think before y'all speak?
I'll answer that. Pose that question again, Charles.
Do the people on The View ever think before they speak?
Charles.
My answer is the following.
No.
No, they don't think at all.
No.
And even with this cancer diagnosis, he still got the mental capabilities that evade him, and it's like I want nothing. Hopefully he does survive and he lives a healthy life continuing. But this is some shit that, of course, they're not going to say anything if you're president, because this is probably something that was known about early on, most likely.
Yeah.
Because one thing about a president, they get constant checks for health.
Yeah, this is probably why he was in the basement during the 2020 campaign. Oops, did I say that out loud?
Yeah. And when we look at this shit, we can't trust the Democratic Party. I'm not saying go Republican, but
neither am I. I'm sure, but
You can't do it.
I'm sure, but her Blue's gonna say, "I'm telling y'all to go vote for Republican." Nope.
I'm not saying to vote for
I'm not.
whoever you want, but tell me.
I'm.
I'm gonna ask this, and I already know the group you're referring to, Blue, no matter who. And I'm not
Mhm.
talking about them personally, but I'm going to ask this question politically. Does the Democratic Party look like a party that supports heterosexual straight black men ideals? The
Not at
answer's,
all.
in my professional opinion, no. This party has done everything in its power to shut down the heterosexual black male voice. You propped up the
Charles,
women.
hold on, wait a minute, Charles. Just the heterosexual black male's voice. Look what they're doing to David Hogg.
Yeah, and you've done a good job also isolating.
Oh, you
Uh-oh. They got him.
oh crap, they got him. Dag on it. Looks like he probably had a call. So
Mhm.
let's let Savvy continue.
And also the interview that he had with Jill Biden on The View. I didn't cover that one, but he's had 2 interviews recently. So it's kind of weird he said he's out of the spotlight, but he did just have 2 interviews.
Major news as former President Joe Biden diagnosed with an aggressive form of prostate cancer. We'll continue to learn more here, bring on some medical experts, bring on the finest experts for politics and what this means. And we'll discuss this more here on this Sunday, but we're just gathering new information about this as the world learns that he has been diagnosed with prostate cancer here on this Sunday on Live Now. Back in here to
Okay, so let's get into a little bit more details about this. If you're just joining, it says that Biden has been diagnosed with an aggressive form of prostate cancer. And one of the things I want to add here as well, everybody in this country should have the same health care, in my opinion. I don't think it's fair that because of your status, your title, your wealth, that you're entitled to better health care than somebody else. That is the one thing, like I will not back down on that. Because like I said, Joe Biden has the best resources possible. He has the best team possible to get this treated and to try to beat this. The average American does not. You'll see that more when I get into that new story about 60% of Americans. Because that story, this is all connected, but you would think this will be a wake-up call. So it's probably not going to be a wake-up call for Joe Biden, but hopefully this is a wake-up call for the rest of the country. Now, if we go into a little bit of the details here, again, diagnosed with an aggressive form of prostate cancer. It says that the prostate cancer has spread to his bones. That's what his office said recently. The diagnosis came after Mr. Biden reported urinary symptoms, which led doctors to find a small nodule on his prostate. Mr. Biden's cancer is characterized by a Gleason score of 9, grade group 5, with metastasis to the bone. While this represents a more aggressive form of the disease, the cancer appears to be hormone sensitive, which allows for effective management. Mr. Biden's office was unsigned. Mr. Biden's office, which was unsigned. The president and his family are reviewing treatment options with his physicians. Again, see how they're able to sit down and review treatment options? Think about all the people in this country that have filed for bankruptcy because of cancer treatments and because there may have been treatments that were more effective, but they were too expensive. So people go with the cheaper option. I know people who have been through this. Some of you know people who have been through this. Some of you have family members, have friends that have been down this road.
Yep.
And I got to say this, because this is one that really aggravates me the most. And there are a lot of diseases in the world, but this one really aggravates me to the point that, like, after all these years of medical research, you mean to tell me they can't find a cure for cancer in this country? I know there's treatments that have been mentioned in other countries, but think about this, guys. All of the money that...
No, man, can you read that for me and shout out to number 2 in the building?
Okay. Unfortunately, the cancer has Metasized, which means it is stage 4. He will not make it. This is what my father experienced. And the equalizer, that's what my. I'm starting to hurt all over again. God damn it. Not only did my father experience it, but so did my mother. And y'all wonder why I'm busting my ass to get some of these fundraisers done. Not just for me, but for the people that are going through this shit. Because my family and I went through it.
Yeah.
I lost my dad to prostate cancer in 2007. You know how long he fought it without a word of complaint or without help from the cancer community? 15 years.
Yeah, I lost my as I stated earlier, I lost my uncle to pancreatic cancer, what Snowman had.
And I was stage 4.
Yeah.
I was
And
stage
for those
4.
of you who don't know, stage 4 is practically
A
a
death sentence.
death sentence.
It's practically a death sentence. You're not supposed to make it. And I'll say it again. That's exactly what Duke Hospital told Jody. Jody being my wife. They told her there was nothing they can do for the tumor I had in my body. And I was so distraught that I didn't know how to react. Think about this. You're told cancer.
How do
It
you
gets
react to being told you're going to be in a box soon? Seriously.
stunned silence. That's how I reacted. We cried on the drive from North Carolina back here to Indiana.
Mm.
And that's when my wife, bless you, Jody K, said, fuck this shit. We're not losing.
Mm-hmm.
And I will always thank Attila Nakib, Dr. Attila Nakib, who's now in Massachusetts, and his medical team for performing the surgery on me that saved my life. I ain't even supposed to be here.
Mm.
Period. I'm not supposed to be here. Period.
Yeah.
And people wonder why I still hustle as hard as I do. She's sitting behind me. She's sitting in the office behind me. You see that one? Y'all see that woman in the picture? In my in the picture you see on the screen?
Yes.
That's why. She's why. My daughter Sonia, my daughter Cheyenne, my son Dakota, everyone who I've come in contact with. But this pretty lady right here, that's why I keep fighting. That's exactly why. That's exactly why I feel and believe that I cannot and will not lose.
Yeah. Before we continue, about, let's see, 2013, so that was about 12 years ago now.
Mm-hmm.
I get a call. My mother's in the hospital. She had a brain hemorrhage. And like you, Snowman, when I got to the hospital, the doctor told me that pretty much she's probably not going to make this one. And I kind of just slithered back in the chair that I was sitting in.
Mm-hmm.
And I asked my uncle, who was the one who had the pancreatic cancer, just to call the family and that she's in the hospital. Um, I walked into my mother's room, and as a man, I have nothing to hide. I broke down
Mm-hmm.
because I took one look at her, and knew she was gone.
Yep. Yep.
The only reason I even kept her on life support is because I wanted to give the family enough time to say their last goodbyes.
Yeah.
I was
Yeah.
waiting for one of my crazy aunts to get in town,
Mm-hmm.
and this happened on Sunday. So this is Wednesday now. I come into the hospital. This was a light skinned lady. She's much lighter than me.
Mm-hmm.
Her total skin color, her skin color, she was dark as me.
Mm.
And after that, I was like, okay,
You knew.
yeah, yeah. That's when I said that's what I told her. Okay, pull the plug. And she died not too long after that.
Mm-hmm.
So when we talk about healthcare in this
Or the
country,
lack,
it's
or
a
the lack,
very serious thing. Oh, one
or
more
the.
thing.
Here's the big reason why healthcare. We're supposed to be the country of countries, but we still have an issue with fucking healthcare because we got to put a dollar on it, and people forget. Why do we have an issue? I'll tell you why, Sammy. Because there's no money in a cure.
Nope.
No, there isn't. There isn't.
If saving lives was actually profitable, you goddamn right the United States will put a dollar sign on it.
Yeah, they
Yeah,
would.
back they need to schedule a prostate exam on and a
Or
colonoscopy at
at
40.
40.
Yep.
I didn't have mine until I was 50, but thank God I did. And my wife just had one.
Oh, there's something else
Okay.
we need to talk about too before I get back to Sabby. We need to talk about life insurance. At the time, um, my
Mm-hmm.
mother didn't have life insurance. We had to do what was called a Medicaid funeral.
Yeah.
We didn't have a limo, which
Mm-hmm.
actually turned out to be a good thing because I drove to the cemetery, which was cool. But
Mm-hmm.
and it's probably much higher now. And this is just in Indiana. I don't even want to know what it's like in other places.
Nor do I.
$3,000
Mm.
just to dig the hole,
Oh. Yep.
and that's not even the worst part. $3,000 just to dig the hole, and it didn't even cover putting the hole, covering up the hole.
Mm-hmm.
On top of the fact, after the funeral, and I went back to the cemetery to finish the business.
Mm-hmm.
The guy told me because it's a Medicaid funeral, my mother's going to be stacked with somebody else in the grave too. Yeah. Translation: y'all need to get life insurance. If you want to be buried properly, get that life insurance.
Please.
And
My
get
mother.
the life insurance and not let your people be put in debt. Because this is the one thing about black people. Black people
Yeah,
got selfish
how many
motherfuckers.
GoFundMe's have we seen because somebody died all of a sudden?
I went through it twice. I want to show y'all something.
Go ahead. Hold on, I got
Over
you.
here. This is the woman who got me organized or is getting me organized. This pretty lady right here.
Mm-hmm.
I do people a favor with this one. Get your shit together when it comes to healthcare. Matter of
Yeah,
fact, eat healthy.
Yes.
Today should be the first day you want to get in shape, lose weight, get a weight program. I will tell people
Get
this:
everything.
mm-hmm.
you will spend 8 to 10 hours at work, but how much time will you get into rejuvenating your body?
Right.
Mm-hmm.
Very true.
Why do you have stressful ass people around you, negative people, who's stressing you the hell out? Why do you want to chase down a woman who's going to stress you? Some of you motherfuckers out there need to be captains of your destinies and masters of your fate.
Mm-hmm.
Preach.
Like, let's. How much do you work out a week? How much water do you drink?
A day.
How
And not
much?
just not just because you need it, because it cleans out your body.
Yes, it does.
I made a commitment that today will be the first day I actually start tracking how much water I drink. and I'm looking at this black cup that I have here in front of me. It holds 40 ounces. I've gone through 4 of them.
Let's talk about this, right? When the last time people did a push-up?
For me,
Walked.
actually today. Just try.
I mean,
at least attempt it.
and walk. Like, let's say, even though I'm not sounding the healthiest myself right now, getting over a cold, but best believe with a little bit of bourbon, some honey, and some tea, I'm gonna kick this shit in the ass.
Yep.
Yeah, I'm trying to get.
But
get up
let's ask this question: what do you eat? What vegetables and fruits do you eat? Because that's a lot of motherfuckers want to look sexy. No. Be sexy living. There's no such thing as a sexy corpse.
There sure isn't.
I really want to see how much do you invest into your health like you would do a stock portfolio? What do you think is more important?
It's the health for me.
Health first.
After this shit me and Jody have been through, it's the health for us. Period. It's the health for us. How much time do you spend if you have someone special in your life? Here's a way to do not skip an annual full checkup blood test. I just had one of those. Also request a test for BRCA1 and BRCA2 genes. We get the
How many of you taking fish oils? How many motherfuckers taking fish oils? How many people taking vitamins, especially you motherfuckers over 40?
That's what Jody and I do every day. And I reference her and I all the time because both of us are 52. And we're both making sure that we take our vitamins, and we're starting to eat healthier. We're starting to be healthier. Starting to sleep better. And a lot of it. Go ahead, Charles.
Go ahead.
A lot of it for us was stress. Now, when we crash, and it feels so good for that. People just don't understand how good it should feel every day that you wake up, that you're making an impact on your family. I mean, to a point, forget everybody else, to your family.
Let's ask this one important question. Let's keep it real for a second.
Please do.
How many bowel movements do you have a day?
At least 2.
3 here.
If you're not having at least 1 to 2 a day, you're in serious health risk.
Yep.
Well, no, I don't need to take a shit every day, you know.
Bullshit.
I swear to God, especially with black men. I don't know, your phobia of going to the fucking hospital getting checked out. A lot of you need to go.
The phobia is real.
Yeah, what's going on,
The
Louis?
phobia is real. What's
Submarine. Forgot his Marine.
Marine in the house.
I'm like, oh yeah. Like, how many times do you go? Are you eating the right fruits and vegetables to consider making a bowel movement? Because your fibers actually produce that.
Yes,
you have enough
they
fiber in your diet. Have you limited your red meat?
We're starting to. You'll be proud of us, Charles. We're starting to limit that. Because
Have you limited your sugars? And this is the you want to absolutely. What's the number one reason why black people, especially black women, are overweight? What type of food do they usually get?
Hot Cheetos.
Fast food.
Yeah, we can't hear you, Louis.
Chips, soda, all that crap.
Yep.
First said fast food. Fast food's so expensive, people can't even afford fast food.
Really?
I go to the McDonald's and Popeyes is always empty. Too expensive.
Yep. It's starting to empty here too.
Mm-hmm.
It's
It's
starting to empty.
it's cheaper to go to the store.
It is. Yeah, that's one thing we're doing a lot more of. And
I
thank the Lord.
can't remember last time I went to McDonald's. It's been years.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah.
For me and Jody, it's a work in progress, and I realize and showing some accountability that it's a work in progress for us.
Mm-hmm.
But do you think we care what the fuck other people think? Nope, we're trying to live for each other.
Mm-hmm. Let's get back to this here, because there's some other
that goes into medical research. We're talking about decades and decades of researching. And you mean to tell me they still can't find a cure for cancer?
They probably found a cure. They just want to
they don't want, right. They don't want people to have it.
I think is really going on. I believe they don't want a cure for cancer in the United States. And I believe they don't want it because there's more money in treatment. As long as people are sick, these companies, they make so much more money keeping you sick.
Yep.
Chemo is expensive.
And keeping you
some people are able to be cured through chemo, some people are not.
Go ahead.
And keeping you drugged up at the same time.
Yep.
They give you so many diagnoses and they give you the drugs to match it. And so many people are afraid to come off of them.
Mm-hmm.
Do I have to take
So regardless if you live or die, they still get their money.
Mm-hmm.
I have a very, very strong, very strong one with this one, because I fail to believe that they cannot find a cure for cancer in this country. I fail to believe it. Let's go on a little bit more here. Mr. Biden, 82, left office in January as the oldest serving president in American history. Throughout his presidency, Mr. Biden faced questions about his age and his health, which ultimately led him to abandon his reelection campaign. And I don't even want to make this about his campaign. I want to keep the message on health and health care. But I thought Asal brought up a really good point here, because don't forget about this, okay? Asal said war criminals with prostate cancer are still war criminals.
Mm-hmm.
Biden isn't a decent man. He's the man who aided the total destruction of Gaza, the mass slaughter of children, normalized starvation as a weapon, and shred international.
Oh, don't forget he signed the crime bill, and
Mm-hmm.
he's also the reason you can't file bankruptcy on your college loans. Oops. Nobody want to talk about that. But anyway,
the law, his legacy is and will always be genocide.
Yep.
Let's bring it fully home, folks. Because I want you to think about all those kids, all those women, all those people that have been killed. I want you to think about that for a second. This is not here to dance on anyone's. I'm not here to dance on his diagnosis, anything like that. Cancer sucks.
Mm-hmm.
But given the
so does dialysis.
Resources that he has, he's probably going to be okay. And in fact, you can hear in the article, it sounds like he's probably going to be okay. But the average American that faces this situation doesn't have the same type of odds. He's the one that didn't want you to have health care. Think about this. I don't know if this is karma or what. I don't know what this is. But don't you think it's kind of weird? He was the same person that said if the Medicare for All bill came across his desk, he would veto it.
Yes, he did.
He's not affected. He's not impacted the way that you or I would be. They'll probably be able to treat it. He'll probably be able to beat it. But I got another question. Like I said, don't forget, he has his own doctor.
Mm-hmm.
He has his own medical team. When you're president of the United States, you have a physical every year.
Mm-hmm.
So it is kind of weird to me that this wasn't caught before. For a lot of other people, this would be an automatic death sentence. That's what I want people to understand.
Mm-hmm.
Because we don't have our own doctor. Not in this capacity. We don't have those types of resources. Hell, there's doctors near me that haven't taken or accepted new patients since the pandemic, okay? Some of you may have run into that same situation.
True in 2 states for me and Jody.
But he's covered, he's taken care of.
Yep.
I sincerely hope what Americans take away from this, because I'm going to go ahead and tell you, corporate media, the way they're going to talk about this, they're going to try to make it political. I want you to make this message about healthcare. Everybody deserves healthcare in this country, and you shouldn't have certain types of treatment based on your title, your wealth, etc. Let's go to some of the comments here in the chat. Thank you for the super chat, Jay. Happy Sunday to you, Sabby. Happy Sunday, Jay. Robert says, I bet Joe has health insurance. New York Varsity says presidents do not use insurance. They have their own doctors, military scientists, and hospitals. There you go. His own team. Thank you, Mark. People going to say poor Joe Biden. I say make him get his cancer treatment in Gaza.
Ooh.
Bang.
Damn. No, you don't understand. More than half those all those hospitals are gone. It's horrific.
Mm-hmm.
I don't even want to talk about it. They don't have anesthetics for when people need to have surgery. It's horrific. It's bad. It's very bad. But yeah, Democrats sold y'all a dementia patient with stage 4 cancer, but they want us to take them seriously.
Try again.
And it's actually worse than you think, actually. Not only do they want us to take them seriously, they act like we shouldn't say anything about this situation with Joe Biden. Don't believe me?
Shit.
If you don't believe me, let's pull my share screen back up and let's watch some of the crash outs.
Uh-oh.
Wrong.
And shout out to Red Don Daly.
President. Supposed to be the other one.
Yeah, you heard that right?
Wow.
Wrong. President. Supposed to be the other one. Wrong one.
Beta! Leave him alone now. Leave him alone. Joe Biden has prostate cancer. Everybody, leave him the alone.
Let's be real.
Oh, we are leaving them alone. We talking about y'all.
If I had,
don't misunderstand. When I talk about butt hurt blue, I'm not just talking about the knuckleheads I got in my description box. I'm talking about people like this too.
Cancer, and Joe Biden found out, he wouldn't give a flying. He called me and every one of us garbage. Remember? He said we're garbage. He said that we are basically. Remember that speech in front of Independence Hall with the red background? So I understand our religion says pray for him. God forgives. I don't. So this is a man been a year Joe wrote, and y'all do
prostate cancer, and the reactions are all over the place.
If you have prostate cancer that is spread to the bone, then he's most certainly, you were saying, had it when he was president of the United States.
No shit. By the way, I got 22 watching. Y'all like, share, subscribe. Hit the cash app, support the show. Hit the super chat, support the show. We gave y'all a lot of information. Support the show.
Please support the show.
Oh yeah.
He did not develop it in the last 100, 200 days. He had it while he was president. He probably had it at the start of his presidency in 2021. Yes, that I don't think there's any disagreement about that.
This is what I typically would see in a VA hospital, where a patient hasn't had medical attention in 10 years, presents to an emergency room with bone pain, and then they find that it's metastatic prostate cancer. But in the modern age of medicine, especially the fact that he was a former president, he had intensive state-of-the-art care where we can see prostate cancer 10 years in the past. So this is it's very unusual to hear that someone has prostate cancer where they're annually being followed up, and the fact that we just find it at a Gleason 9 is just pretty much unheard of in this day and age of medicine.
MAGA, ew, how nasty of people do you really have to be to make conspiracies and talk about
It's not a conspiracy, sweetheart.
Well, she's talking about people being nasty. How many people were pissed when the bullet didn't hit Trump's skull?
They're still talking shit about that.
Wow.
They haven't stopped.
Biden's cancer
Okay,
diagnosis? You guys
wow.
are so insane. BDS. Oh my God.
I still know people talking about he didn't get shot. What's the big deal? A fireman got shot and died, and he had a family at the same event. But y'all going around, what's the big deal? He didn't get shot.
People are fucking stupid.
Yep.
What?
Well, Angel Reese and Caitlin Clark should have shown you that the last few days.
Mm-hmm.
What kind of people in their right mind?
By the way,
Yes.
let's stop for a minute. This is my show. Let's stop for a minute. I gotta ask you about something, Snowman.
Talk to me.
Some knucklehead
Oh no.
went around talking about they were shouting racial slurs at Angel Reese during that game. Did you hear any racial slurs or anything of the sort during that game?
No.
I didn't either, and I went back and watched the footage.
I watched the footage in fact, I watched it twice from start to finish. Didn't happen.
But everybody's trying to make it a race thing now.
Of course. Drama sells.
And I'll play it Saturday because it's not relevant to the stream. But a black woman on there talking about you black man, you better read the room. You better defend your sister Angel Reese. No.
Whoa.
Yep.
Stop. D says hold the phone, penalty flag on the field.
Yep.
She said what?
You better defend your sister, your cousin Angel Reese. I'm like,
Give me this.
No.
Now that's some bullshit.
It wasn't even that hard of a foul.
It was a common foul. I put a short up earlier today saying it was a common foul. I talked about it on my morning show this morning. It was a common foul.
How many clips do we have? How many clips do we have of Clayton Clark getting hit much harder?
Plenty. How many clips?
So
Angles
white
and
privilege.
replays do we have of Kennedy Carter just running up and absolutely obliterating Caitlin Clark? And you know what I was told when I talked about that last year? Same four-letter word, race. You stupid. Give me this button. Kevin Harlan, say it for me, will you please?
Let's continue. Nobody is making fun of Joe Biden having stage 4 cancer. Stop it.
I got you. Nobody's making fun of Joe Biden having stage 4 cancer.
Hold on, wait. I know Butthurt Blue ain't talking. I
Oh
know
no.
y'all ain't talking.
Oh no. What
I
happened?
can't go to some areas without them saying, "Did you see what Trump did? Trump. Not even thinking about I could go to church, not even thinking about politics at all. If I go into certain sections, Trump. You see what Trump did? Trump.
Mm-hmm.
I could be going to area not even thinking about politics. Trump. You see what Trump did? You see what Trump did? I know y'all not talking.
Mr. Kevin Harlan. Say it.
Yes.
I'll even play this for that right. Yeah. That's all I can say. That's all I have to say.
By the way, all throughout the DNC, what do they talk about? Trump.
Mm-hmm.
Donald Trump this, Donald Trump that, Donald Trump this.
Nothing about policies. That's right. I said it. I'll say it again. Nothing about policies.
Shout out to the elder millennial. That's his name. At least on TikTok. I don't really care. Get I hope my speed recovered. I hope they give him his ice cream. Actually, I do mean that. Give him his ice cream. I don't care. He's probably gonna be your next president. But anyway.
This is
Oh
serious
shit.
stuff.
Sorry.
And this is the guy who carries around the nuclear football for the world's largest nuclear arsenal. This is not child's play, and we can pray for good.
Sorry about that. I thought I had the thing up. Sorry. All right. Got 14 watching. Okay.
Health, but also recognize that if you're not in good enough health to do the job, you shouldn't be doing the job.
I think we all know why the American people weren't given a clear picture as to what exactly was going on with him. And it was his family. It was his family placing their own selfish desires for power and control ahead of the American people.
Y'all remember you did a good job, Joe. You answered all the questions, Joe. Shout out to Dr. Joe Biden. You did such a good job, Joe. Answered all them questions, Joe. That's what y'all sold to this country. But you want us to take you seriously. On top of the fact you going around talking crazy to everybody. Can't make this shit up. Oh, if you don't believe me that they go around talking crazy to everybody, let me show you a little clip. Let's see which one is it. Here it is.
Seeing Black people sit there and complain about something, but not taking action and steps to actually try to change things in an appropriate manner.
Under the Trump and Biden administration, they came to certain agreements with police departments to be less brutal toward the Black community. Trump has now ended all that. How does that help the Black community?
I have a lot of issues with police reform and just with how police officers are treated as a whole. My husband is currently going through the process to become a police officer. The amount of hatred that cops get, even the best ones, I think has become a huge problem because it has been, especially around election times, when it definitely comes out of like, oh no, the cops are bad, the cops hate you because you're Black, they're immediately deemed as evil.
This man is talking about running for a third term. Now, what do you think about that?
My third term, for me, after vote Democrat.
If you go back in time, would you vote for Donald Trump? Yes or no?
Yes.
I think I might know the answer on this next one.
For those, just to give a little context, Van Jones asked these three Black people, would you vote for Donald Trump again? And they all said yes. As would I.
Yes. It's immediately yes. No, I'm sorry.
If you
people have ever seen him.
Yes.
So, because they all said yes, naturally, Butthurt Blues like Roly Poly say,
John, those are three of the dumbest people I've ever seen in my life. Okay, so let me just unpack what I heard. Now I know Morgan's like, oh no, you can't go there. Actually, I can go there because those are three idiots. First and foremost.
Well, I want to hear the rationale. I want to hear.
No, here's why. First of all, when the woman in red, yeah, I was listening to Candace Owens. We know she lies.
funny story. I would actually like to see Roly Poly actually debate Candace Owens if he can. He might
we know she just lies. Well, I was listening to Candace Owens and I read her book. Okay, you're listening to a grifter. Okay, so she's not giving you factual information.
You're one to talk about being a grifter. Seriously. You're one to talk about being a grifter. Who is that? Oh, Charles. You definitely want to talk about being a grifter. Okay, anyway.
Information, she's a grifter. Then let's go to this idiot dude who needs a haircut. Okay, so he's sitting here.
You talking about somebody need a haircut when you're balding, really, bro? When you're clearly balding, really, bro?
Yeah, TikTok is the holy grail.
Well, that's how much cable news sucks. TikTok is a better news source. Oops.
I'm not getting my information from news channels. I'm getting.
Yeah, that's how much they suck.
Getting it from TikTok. Here's what we know based upon polling. People who got information from news sources voted more so for Harris.
In other words, people that got lied to voted for Harris. Thanks for telling us.
Because they got factual information. Folks.
No, actually, they just got misinformed. But anyway.
Who got their information from non-news sources, they voted for Trump. So right there, he's listening to people who don't know what the hell they're talking about. Then, I kind of like it that he's an asshole. Okay.
And we need an asshole to run this country, especially with knuckleheads like you.
Okay. I don't know how you can run against that, because if you just choose not to be an idiot, I don't know how you could do that. But then you got the other woman. I'm sick of black people.
Okay, y'all get the point. Look, always remember, these knuckleheads sold us a dementia patient with stage 4 prostate cancer, but they want you to take them seriously. They want you to go out and vote Democrat. Now, me personally, I don't care who you vote for, so long as they're about your interests. So long as you're voting for your actual interests and not what Democrats tell you to vote for. I don't care. You got anything to say before I get out of here, Lewis? Lewis? Lewis?
Yeah?
You got anything to say before I get out of here?
No.
Okay. Charles, you got anything you want to end with?
Smoke weed every day and drink what?
Oh, you ain't shit.
And drink every weekend.
Oh gosh, you ain't shit. All right, I'm about to shut this stream down. I'd like to thank everybody that came through. This is AB Media 83, and I'm out. Peace. Yo, this is AB Media 83. Want to support the channel? Hit the Cash App. Also, be sure to like, share, and subscribe to the video. Also, be sure to hit that bell notification so you can be notified next time I upload a live stream or video. And always remember, keep it grinding, keep it pushing, keep it moving. This is AB Media 83, and I'm out. Peace.